Don't worry, this is going to be a much different Tier 0 format than you are used to seeing. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So all I've heard from the community in the last 48 hours is, we're going back into another Tier 0 format. This is so stupid, I'm quitting this game. So let's talk about a couple things here, shall we? Come sit down over here. So this was inspired by the question of who would win between full power Tyr or full power Fiendsmith, and the answer is Tyr all the time. All right, Fiendsmith is an engine. Fiendsmith is not a deck. All right, Fiendsmith facilitates an easier access to Beatrice. Beatrice gives you a mill option, a ping for 1200 damage effectively in any generic deck, and 1200 damage, specifically ability to drop any card that you need out of the deck because of Beatrice. So in that case, you could drop a Snake Eyes Ash, technically revive it off of the Promethean Princess, and start combo that way. Oh, well, that's a bit problematic. What about Nubel out here? You know, Fiendsmith is showing up, and you know, what are they doing in there? They're using it to make the DDD Wave King Kaiser, whatever the rank 6 is, to end on a negate board, or they're making Beatrice as a dump option for this. Oh, okay, so you're telling me that, you know, the best deck in the room and like the other best deck in the room get a consistency buff, so then it elevates them from, you know, already here and like here up like this. Yes, it does. I think the misconception that people are having with this engine is it's making the already problematic decks into the same shit different day with an extra combo line to make Apollousa a little bit easier. I mean, it's what, like Ostinato plus something else is like what, a full Apollousa? Yeah, you guys remember that problem, right? I remember the little couple weeks that we had to deal with that issue. So, what about the ban list? Does the ban list fit? You know, we got this Tier 0 format on the horizon here. You have a Tier 0 engine on the horizon that all of these decks want to spend this $400 expected price point on to be able to have some extenders. Now, the ban list, a couple things to discuss. You got the Apollousa impending death clock that everybody is like, just get rid of it. Yeah, kill Link 4s. Yeah, get them out of here. I don't want to see those Link 4s anymore. Yeah, I mean, you get rid of Apollousa. I mean, Apollousa is kind of the last one standing out here in terms of that. So, okay, we could use a ban list to naturally check this, which, I mean, a lot of people are kind of expecting we're going to use this ban list to kind of rewind down the possibility of, you know, Snake Eyes power ceiling, and we're not going to worry about Yubel. Alright, just pretend like the Fiend Toolbox doesn't exist, alright? So once you rewind Snake Eyes and you get them from, you know, up here, back down to, they're still on top of Yubel. See? Look at that. Just a little bit above the rest. And then when you add the Fiendsmith stuff, you go from here up to here. You see there was no change in that? We're using my hands as elevated power schemes in here. So the whole reason why I say that this is going to be so much different. It's, guys, remember Pot of Prosperity opening the consistency of some decks? You know, guys remember, you know, all these little staple cards that we've had in the past out here that are consistency buffs to decks. That's what the Fiendsmith package is. I would say Snake Eyes gets incredibly better with this. The Yubel deck gets better with this. Rescue Ace with the Fiendsmith combo in the OCG is a very real threat. I do want to point that out. Like, if you're sitting here and you're like, if you're not going to acknowledge the Rescue Ace pile, at least transitioning over here, I think it might be an actually, I guess, viable strategy. At least kind of mess around with. Whew, you didn't want to watch me sneeze on camera. That was rough. Oh. Anyway, so Rescue Ace. Also the Chimera Good Stuff package playing Fiendsmith. You guys know that Illusion Toolbox? That one's sitting over there. Hi, Chimera. Oh, you're breathing very heavily because you want to rip a card from my hand? Yeah, give me a second to shuffle my hand. Okay. Oh, you want to ping that? Okay. And up, yep. 20% got the right card. Guess I'll scoop. Happens every single time to the best of us. So what is that? 3-4 decks? I mean, now here's the cool thing about this. If you already have Yubel and you already have Snake Eyes, currently you do not need to pick up the Fiendsmith cards. Will the Fiendsmith cards make your life 150% better? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they will. All right, your Yubel deck could use that power up. But if you have reached, I really broke the bank buying those Phantoms out here, and you're like, I cannot afford $400 for this. If you've already got these decks, or you pick them up cheap over the last couple of ban list scares, this is why I say you kind of flip a coin when it comes to these ban list speculations. You either win or you lose, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right, I've seen a lot of wins, I've seen a lot of losses. That's why, we do talk about you have to be an educated consumer out here. You have to make your decision tree on if you want to pick these decks up. If you're, looking at this. Now, if you're expecting, I'm going to, play, Snake Eyes or Snake Eyes or Yubel into these, toolbox decks that are using these Fiendsmith cards, I hate to tell you this, but if you think you're going to have the same win rate ratio against these decks with these slightly more consistency giving cards, that's not going to happen. It's not how those consistency upgrades work. I win my locals all of the time, and I have play tested hours online. I don't know who you're play testing against out here. I understand that variance will factor in for probably 10-15% of these games, but even if you look at the Japan tier list out here, it's almost like a consistent Snake Eyes engine versus the same build without the Snake Eyes power, without the Fiendsmith combo, is probably going to suck. Alright, there, I said it. I'm not advocating for you to run out and spend this money because your deck is still 100% playable. There's no ifs, ands, or change about that. But if you think that you're going to have the same win ratio versus those decks you had before, in a deck that could use the Fiendsmith upgrades, that's our plug in there. If you can use those Fiendsmith upgrades, then no, it's not going to happen. So, overall, biggest things to take away from this. Yes, we're heading into a format that is driven by another engine. That engine being Fiendsmith. Fiendsmith makes all of the already existing decks that can use it better and will cause a fluctuation in the current meta. If you are looking at, playing something without the Fiendsmith package, Flu exists. Runic exists. Till ban list comes, wipes these things off the side of a building, they exist. I guess other major takeaways here. It's going to be a lot of Fiendsmith this, Fiendsmith that. And I guess the greatest quote I can say came from a Discord server, and it's just, wow, can't wait to spend $400 to go X3 at my locals. And you know what? I feel that. There's also going to be a lot of people trying to play the Fiendsmith package in decks that don't necessarily need the Fiendsmith package. I will say, though, that there is a lot of potential behind the Fiendsmith package. Especially if you're looking at things like the Infernoid deck over here. Yeah, I know. It's just diet Snake Eyes. Let's call it what it is at this point. But especially on the local level where you can toss this in, get a consistency buff in some of these fun decks, and, get access to a Beatrice a lot easier. It unlocks the Mayakashi BS too for a turn skip on the opponent. So, we're not any different than any other time that Beatrice has been a relevant pain in the butt card, because there's going to be a lot of problems that will come just because Beatrice is running around. So, same shit, different day, but same problems, different cards. Because you're about to go into an engine format that will change the way that you kind of look at the perception of this. So, is it worth it to pick up Fiendsmith? I'm not picking it up because I don't have anything to play it in, because I'm a filthy Runic main for the time being. What are Fiendsmith cards going to do for me? I don't need them. Copium. Unless I was to play a combo deck. No, I don't even need them in Zodiac. What is... Fiendsmith doesn't do anything in my Turbo Zeus deck. What about Sky Striker? Nope. I named off everything that I could think of. Wait, what about Exodia or Gandora? You know what? That's a story for another day. You guys have a good rest of your day and stay safe out there. Patrons! Thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.